Welcome to the comeback season, where we have real conversations about fueling your body, rebuilding strength, and stepping back into the life you were meant to live. Whether you've been caring for kids, aging parents, or just lost sight of your own needs, we see you. And this is your season to rise. Hello, my name is Nichole McLeod with Healthy Mind, Healthy Body. I'm a mindset and fitness coach and the author of I Started on a Tuesday. I know what it feels like to lose yourself in the chaos and still hold on to the hope that something better is coming.
And I'm Christi Kelsey from Christi Counts Macros, nutrition and mindset coach and food freedom advocate. I've worked with lots of women who felt stuck, restricted, and unsure where to even begin. Together, we're bringing you honest conversations, healing truths, and real strategies to help you rise again, physically, mentally, and emotionally, whether you've hit rock bottom or you're just tired of putting yourself last. This space is for you because this is your comeback season and it starts right now.
Welcome back to the Comeback Holiday Edition. I'm Nichole, and today we're talking about that drained, overstimulated, wired but tired feeling that hits during the holidays. You're juggling events, expectations, schedules, emotions, and constant stimulation, and your body feels every piece of it. Today, we're helping you stay steady and grounded while everything around you gets louder.
And I'm Christy. Holiday burnout comes from a mix of blood sugar swings, emotional pressure, overstimulation, disrupted routines, sleep changes, and your nervous system trying to keep you safe. When the season ramps up, your physiology reacts, not because you're failing, but because you're overloaded. Today, we want to help you understand your signals and give you simple strategies to feel steady and in control.
This is such a good one. So let's break down what nervous system burnout really looks like during the holidays, why it gets worse this time of year, and what you can do mentally, emotionally, nutritionally, and physically to stay grounded. So, Christy, why is it so darn hard to stay on track during the holidays? And let's be honest, it's hard for everybody, even us trainers and nutritionists. Let's break that down right out of the gates here, my
Yeah.
friend.
I would venture to say it's not about trying harder. It's about understanding why your body feels the way it does this time of year. So, I want to talk about one of the things that I see happen during the holidays. So, when the season ramps up, we kind of slip into different identities.
Yeah.
The fixer, the peacekeeper, the hostess, the one who makes everyone else's experience awesome. And that identity alone can burn you out. But if your identity in December is, I'll just get through it, you will ignore every single signal your body sends. So, having a steadier, more consistent holiday is about choosing a different identity, about choosing to be someone who shows up to be present and grounded and properly fueled.
You know, it's funny because that is exactly what I teach my clients. You want to change and transform your mind and body, you
Mhm.
start living like the person that you want to be. Write
Exactly.
down what that person looks like, write down what that person does in their day, write down what that person's morning routine looks like, so on and so forth. I
Mhm.
never thought of understanding my identity in the holidays. Who am
Mhm.
I? Am I losing my mind, running around with my head cut off? Probably most of us are. But how do I want to be during those holidays and really understanding that before the chaos starts? I like that.
Yeah. This shifted for me a few years ago. I mean, I when I say the holidays were really were a sticking point for me, I mean it. Like I would just go into the holidays, just like give me all the things, give me all the treats, go to the parties and try everything. And then I always felt like garbage in January, always. And I would get on the diet train with everybody else and fall off a couple weeks later. And it really starts to wear on you and especially as you get older, it's
Yeah.
harder and harder to those holiday pounds.
Mhm.
So I've found the last couple of years that, there are ways to enjoy the holidays, but that doesn't mean you have to go overboard. You can
Yeah.
enjoy the treats, but not go overboard.
The all or nothing mindset isn't necessarily your best way to go, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But then let's break that down. What does that look like? What would you say that looks like?
What, say your question again.
No, but so how does that look different for a person considering that
Oh,
perspective?
okay, yeah. So if your goal for the holidays is to enjoy the holidays but not go overboard, you want to listen to our first holiday episode where we talked about the binge restrict cycle and finding your intentional zone. And so for me, that's getting my calories up, my maintenance calories up, so that I have a few more calories to work with. And then I don't track every single day, but I track my food most days. And so I know what I need to eat during the day to reach my protein. And I know how many treats I can have without going 1,000 calories over my calorie goal for the day. So I think
Yeah.
it's just being mindful, and it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to track your food with an app or whatever, but just being mindful of what you're putting in and being balanced. And when I talk about being balanced, I mean with your macronutrients, carbs, fats, proteins. Are you getting in the vegetables and proteins that your body really needs?
If that confuses you, if macronutrients and you just get overstimulated by counting calories and all that, if you're going to do anything foundationally, focus on protein.
Mhm.
It is such a game changer. Go get some good protein powder and have that a handy before you. If I don't have the protein, pure protein, whatever it is, chicken breast and protein shake or whatever, before a holiday party, I will eat more, and most people will. So just plan for that. It takes 2 minutes to chug a protein shake that's going to set you up for success for the rest of that evening. So
Yeah.
just little hacks like that make such a difference.
And the reason protein is so important is because protein is made up of amino acids.
Yeah.
And all day long, our body is trying to repair itself, repair damaged cells in our bodies, and it uses those amino acids and nutrients, micronutrients from, the fruits and vegetables, the colorful foods to help repair our cells, our muscles, and our tissues in our body. And that's why it's so important.
Yeah. In my opinion, breath work and exercise are two very, very important tools that you can use during that month.
Mhm.
And the biggest thing, and let's break this down. Our next talking point: hyper arousal versus shutdown, hypo.
Okay.
So why is it worse during the holidays? We have all these different factors. We got family dynamics. We have the emotions of it triggering certain things. We got all the sugar, alcohol, all of the extra financial burdens that are going on us, right?
Yeah.
So breath work, to take a second to ground yourself, exercising. It doesn't have to, I'm going to go to the gym for an hour before I have dinner. Well, it's not realistic, but you sure as heck can put your shoes on, go for a quick 10-minute jog or jog, probably a walk, just move your body. But those two tools, along with the protein tip, those are my three hacks and how I don't gain weight or as much weight. Everybody gains a bit of weight over the holidays. I don't think I've ever not gained weight over the holidays. The only year I think I didn't gain a little bit weight was, when I got sick, but a couple of pounds here or there. So don't beat yourself up over that either. But to have that in your back pocket, exercise, I'm doing my 10-minute walks. That's my non-negotiable. I'm eating more protein and I'm using my breath work. And those three for me, whew, I'd be lost without them.
Yeah. So let me just explain what happens with the weight gain for a lot of people. Um, I used to believe that most people gain 5 pounds over the holidays. That information is out there somewhere on the internet, and it's not necessarily true. What happens a lot of times is our carb intake increases,
Mhm.
and we're eating more carbs than we're used to. And when our body stores carbs as glycogen, it also stores water with it. So it's not necessarily fat gain, it's all this stuff with the carbs that we're eating. Think about, you know, rolls, potatoes, cookies, pies, all the things that we eat during the holidays. A lot of them are high in carbohydrates. And
That's a good
so,
point.
yeah, so I mean, I'm not saying carbs are bad. They're not. It's actually our body's main energy source. But when you are eating quick carbs all the time, the cookies on the counter, the crackers in the car, the peppermint bark at work, whatever,
Yeah.
your body gets these short bursts of energy followed by sharp crashes. And those crashes signal to our body, hey, we're running out of fuel. It's like a stress response. It increases cortisol, and then you feel distracted and irritable, kind of out of control with food.
Yeah.
So it's not necessarily a lack of willpower, it's your body trying to find energy and nutrients.
Yeah. No, that's a good point. And I'm sure you have clients as well that weigh themselves every day. And I tell people all the time, like, your weight can fluctuate
Mhm.
100%. Now, I can confidently say over most holidays, I do usually put on a couple pounds of body fat. And that is something that I take care of soon after the holidays. But you do have to be mindful that don't beat yourself up if you did gain a couple pounds, because like you just said, it might not necessarily be body fat for sure.
Yeah.
All right, so let's talk about the burnout signals that most people ignore and why it's worse during the holidays. So first of all, that multitasking, it's nonstop. Like there's always something to do, and that mental overload, because remember, your nervous system cannot tell the difference between a bear attacking you or a long to-do list. Like, it doesn't know the difference. So maybe that's a bit extreme, but you know my point is that if you're stressing over multiple things and your nervous system's on overdrive, if you're not doing things to ground yourself and to bring it down and stabilize yourself, then you are going to feel a bigger hit for sure.
Yeah. And burnout often comes from decision fatigue. I mean, think about all of the choices you have to make during the
Yeah.
holiday.
Yeah.
And one of the easiest ways to stay steady is using like pre-decisions or making a plan ahead of time, choosing
Mhm.
your non-negotiables before the day starts. We kind of talked about that in the last episode. So some examples will be finding a couple of breakfasts that have at least 25 grams of protein in it, and switching off between those, and connecting other habits with things that you're already doing. Again, we talked about that in the last episode, but if you go into something without a plan, you are reacting. You're not coming in with a plan and tools to help you navigate that situation.
I know we're going to be a broken record, but when you really think about it, having a plan is what's going to make them successful or not. And that's
Mhm.
why we keep repeating it, because if I didn't have a plan, I've been doing the, fitness, nutrition, I've been in the wellness world my entire life. And I still need a plan because I'm still human, and human beings make mistakes, and human beings can be thrown off track, and we have irrational thoughts and all these things that can come our way. Well, if you have a plan on what you're going to do, it's just that much easier. So start putting thought into that. All right, so let's talk about those micro regulation tools. I mentioned a few. My biggest non-negotiables is breath work and moving my body. And I do notice that in the holiday season, there are times where my workouts, because I'm so darn busy, I don't put as much into each one. but
Mhm.
instead I focus on moving my body every day as much as I can. Consistency trumps intensity every time when it
Yeah.
comes to trying to stay on track. So even if you're doing 10 minutes a day, you'll be better to do your routine, your fitness, going for your walk, doing your whatever your resistance training looks like in your day. You'll be better to do that every day, small amounts, than just having an hour and a half workout on Saturday and going hard. You
Mhm.
need something, you need an outlet daily, is what I'm trying to
Yeah.
get at.
It's helpful to set floor and ceiling goals. Like, what is the bare minimum I could do
Ooh,
every single day or
yeah.
3 times a week, you know? And what is my ceiling goal? Like, what would be the ideal? And if you can get somewhere between your floor and ceiling, that's awesome.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Actually, I really like that. And that could be like when you're planning your non-negotiables, that will be the foundation of them. So that is essentially a non-negotiable. Here's my ceiling, here's my, you know, or
Yeah.
the floor. So I don't know. I think that's a great idea. I really like that.
I also like, and this is like a very practical and tool, and it goes along with what I was saying about planning, but I like to get a blank calendar and just write down every day that we have some kind of holiday party or event that's happening so that I already know at a glance what those days are. And then I'll go in and plug in like 3 or 4 meals that I know how to make with my eyes closed. Like don't really have to look at a recipe. Go in and meal plan the rest of the days so that I don't have to think about that over and over and over again when I have all this other stuff going on.
I like that. I really like that. And again, it's planning, right?
Mhm.
It's planning when you have a plan in place and the things happen, you know how you're going to react or respond. Um, we did talk about this having more protein in your day, but another thing that we have in our notes here that's worth mentioning is the combo, especially in the morning, of protein, healthy fat for your snacks. And that really helps with keeping you full and satisfied as well. Incorporating those healthy fats, super easy to do too.
Yeah, and if you can incorporate, I like to tell people when they're snacking to mix protein with a fat or
Yeah,
protein with a carb for every snack.
just make sure the protein's in it.
Yep.
All right, our last point here, my friend, nutrition and movement strategies that keep things going and along the way. The reality is that holiday food is carb heavy, like you mentioned, which is an energy roller coaster. So if you are eating a lot of sugar and a lot of, carbs, you are going to feel that crash. More alcohol, more inflammation, more fatigue.
Mhm.
Whenever you drank, I noticed myself that I know you don't drink, but that evening is you don't get a good sleep. Maybe you crash soon, but you don't get that quality sleep that your body needs to be, you know, working for the nervous system in the holidays, not working against it. And of
Yeah.
course, there's more sitting and travel, right?
Yeah. Yep. And going back to the alcohol, it actually, your body recognizes alcohol as a toxin. And
That's
so,
poison.
yeah, so it pauses like fat burning and all of these other things to prioritize getting that toxin out of your body.
Yeah,
It's also got a lot of empty calories, like it's high carb, or high fat. You can count alcohol as a combination of carbs and fats or one or the other, but it's empty calories. It doesn't have any protein or nutrients in it. And then when you've had a lot of alcohol, it actually weakens your decision making for food choices.
that's
And a
right.
lot of people end up eating more than they intended to because of that. And then, like you said, it disrupts sleep and all
It
of
throws
those.
off it throws off your electrolytes.
Yeah.
So are you replenishing that? So if you did have a night out of drinking, what are you doing the next day? Are you having, some Celtic sea salt in your water? Are you ensuring that your water is even absorbing properly into your cells? Because it might not be.
Hmm. Yeah, it's good.
Um, all right, and then a few more we have here. Um, of course, the walking. It's funny. We have a few funny ones on here about squats before the shower, but I don't think I'm going to be talking about squats before the shower. Or, but you
Well,
know,
we
the
might be
point,
doing squats, but not for exercise.
yeah, there you go. But here's the point of that. I have a client and I didn't even think about this before, but it's brilliant that when they're making their coffee, they do squats.
Oh, yeah.
And then that turned into how they started working out in the morning because their brain got used to doing that thing. Well, it got me thinking, why don't we do that more often? When this small 5-minute thing is happening, this is the little, physical activity I'm going to do just to kind of keep me grounded throughout my day, I guess you could say.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know why we don't do that more often.
There you go. I'm gonna do some squats in the middle of my bacon and I'll send you pictures.
I think you should do some squats every time we record a podcast.
Oh, never do. I'll do it. There you go. We can do a lot of squats. Anything else you want to add to that, my friend?
I don't think so. I think those are some good ones.
All right. So before we wrap up today, I want to slow down for a moment. We're going to bring up some questions again. And I want you to really put some thought into these again. If you're driving, obviously, to be safe and, maybe save it for later. But these reflection questions can really, really help. So, our first one here: what part of the holidays overstimulates me the most? And why do I think this is so? So, is it the very beginning of December? Is it the planning? Is it the actual Christmas day? Is it in between? Is it the shopping? Is it the cooking? What part of it? Or is it all of it? And then why do I think it's so? It's such an important question. And do I get into hyperarousal or shutdown more often? What about you? What do you get into more often, my friend?
I think probably hyperarousal because by the end of the season, I'm just exhausted, like putting myself out there too much.
I definitely am more shut down. This house did not get a Thanksgiving dinner this year.
Oh,
First year. I'm Canadian, so ours is in October, but it didn't. We didn't. So, but why? I did
well,
take the time to understand why. I know why,
yeah.
but hopefully my family gets a Christmas dinner.
Mhm.
So, but does take you to sit back and understand why you respond the way that you do. And our third question: what burnout signals have I been ignoring? So, have you gained weight? Are you having difficulty, you're reacting to the smallest things? You're losing your marbles when you shouldn't be losing your marbles. You can't sleep. What signals of burnout is your body giving you? And if it is, you need to put some thought into that. And then the fourth: what small daily movement can I realistically keep? Am I asking too much of myself? Oh, the years of having 100 things on my to-do list and knowing darn well that I most likely wouldn't be able to reach all those goals, but I'd still write them down. And I get that. You got to sometimes dream big, but you have to be realistic too. Anything you want to add on to that?
I don't think so. I think that if there's anything you can delay till after the holidays or just get rid of that will lighten
Mhm.
your load, those are all good things.
Absolutely. And then which meal or snack can I stabilize to keep my energy steady? So have, again, back to that plan, have some almonds in your pockets or your purse or wherever, or, those protein shakes, just make sure they're healthy. And I don't know, anything else you can add?
You really will feel so much better if you're not just eating carbs all the time. You really will.
Yeah, such a difference. I wish that I could just take how I feel and just plop it into people's brains. Because once you get there and once
Yeah.
you've experienced it, it's you just can't go back. All right, so that wraps up today's conversation. We talked about nervous system burnout and why the holidays make everything feel louder. The people, the emotions, the food, the running around, and the simple movement nutrition shifts that help you stay steady through it instead of getting swallowed up by the season. If you need support between episodes, download your Calm Kit. It's a quick 5-minute grounding routine and a short, sorry, Monica. Well, that wraps up today's conversation. We talked about nervous system burnout and why the holidays make everything feel louder. The people, the emotions, the food, the running around, and the simple movement and nutrition shifts that help you stay steady through it and instead of getting swallowed up by the season. If you need support between episodes, download your Calm Kit we'll have in the notes. It's a quick 5-minute grounding routine you can use anytime the holiday chaos starts pulling you out of yourself. It's there to help you reset fast so you can think clearly, breathe easier, and feel like you again. And next week, we're diving into boundaries, the holiday kind, the ones that protect your peace, your time, your goals, your energy, without guilt or second guessing yourself. It's going to be a big one, and we'll see you there. Thank you for joining us on the comeback season. Please remember, the conversations we share here are for informational and motivational purposes only. We are not licensed medical professionals, and this podcast is not intended to diagnose, treat, or replace guidance from your doctor or your healthcare provider. Always consult your healthcare team before making changes to your nutrition, your fitness, or your mental health routines. Your health and well-being comes first, and we want you to move forward safely with the right support for your journey.